Well, good morning, my friend, and welcome to the Pastor's Podcast Friday morning, coming to you from my home office for a little bit as I get ready, get a little work done here this morning, then going to the church for a wedding early this afternoon, and looking forward to being able to get some things done. Had a great day yesterday, getting some things done for our church, for our city, trying to reach our city for Jesus Christ. And I'm looking forward to this weekend, seeing what God's going to do for us as we try to continue to reach our Jerusalem for Jesus Christ. And I hope that wherever you are, I hope you have a burden for your city, trying to get the gospel into your city. That is the key, my friend. If every church would determine, let's fill our city with the doctrine of Jesus Christ, we could change this old world around. I think our problem is we truly are we're very small minded. We're very what should I say, lazy, and really don't want to put a lot of work into trying to reach our city. And I think that really every church, now those in larger cities, I understand it's a little bit harder. I look at our city, 600 and I think 606 square miles of city that we have to cover. That's a lot of miles to cover, but not everybody's in that large of a city. I'm the second largest landmass city where we are, and God certainly knows what He's doing. But I'm telling you right now, God's got something great for the city of Oklahoma City. Boy, if you're looking for a church, you say, I want to get somewhere where we are going to be actively reaching our whole city. Boy, if you're not in a good church, get out of that and get yourself in a church that has that type of a vision. And boy, I'm excited about what God's going to do here. And I hope that you have that mindset. And then it starts one weekend at a time and trying to get people in. And I hope that you have a good weekend this weekend. Well, today, let's read from Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 38. The scripture says, now the just shall live by faith. But if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. God's direction is always, and I say this often, it's a forward direction. Because a forward direction, get this now, is a faith direction. So any direction that is not forward is a direction that is not a faith. So now what may seem strange to many is that the forward direction is to continue walking on the same paths of those from the past. So Hebrews 11 makes it clear that those from the past lived lives of faith. Hebrews 12 shows that they rely on us to continue to walk down the same paths of faith that they have trodden upon, that we have to do that to complete the race. Now, God says, if any man draw back, that his soul shall have no pleasure in him. Now, what does that mean? That means that to draw back is to change directions. That's what it's to do. To draw back is to pull back from what you used to do. So to draw back is to do less of what those in the past did. Boy, I read a lot from those in the past. And every time I do, I get convicted, yet I get challenged by what these men did. Always understand. So to draw back is to do less. Get this now, is to do less than what you used to do. So I want God to have pleasure in what I do. God seeks for his children not to back up in their Christian walk, but to do more in their Christian walk. To draw back is simply to either stay where you are or to do less in what you're doing instead of pushing forward for the Lord. And that's what we ought to do. Now, let me share a few truths about this critical principle. First, it is not my position to define the race. That's not my position. It is my responsibility to continue the race that is set before us. My job is not to define what is the old path. Now, we're running on holy ground, my friend. And when we continue the race that others have before us run, then we're running on the same path. Too many are trying to redefine the path. I don't need to redefine the path. There is no new path to run on. Listen to me. I'm to walk on the old paths. Anyone who wants to create a first of their kind type of a race, they're revealing their pride. and that they feel that they're better than God and those who run before them. I am not trying to get a first of my kind type of deal. I am trying to continue the heritage that has been handed to me from the Word of God. That's what I'm trying to do. Oh, these guys sound so super spiritual, but they're so unspiritual in their mindset. They're worldly in their mindset. They're lazy in their mindset. And why? Because I'm the first of my kind. That's hogwash. My friend, I'm not to be a first of my kind. I'm to continue in the doctrine. It didn't say have a first of your kind type of doctrine. I'll tell you this: if you're a first of your kind, then your doctrine is going to change, because I'm to continue in the doctrine. Now, listen to me. Don't you be careful about these guys. They're smooth talkers, great personalities. Everybody likes them because they never make anybody upset, and they always attack the past. Watch out for them. Why? I'm to continue in the doctrine. What doctrine? The doctrine that's been handed to me before. That's what I'm to continue in. So I've got to understand I'm to not to be a first of my kind. I'm to continue my kind. Get that now? That's what I'm supposed to do. Second, you cannot do more if you don't build upon the past. So my job is not to criticize or to minimize the faith works of the past, but my job is to build upon them. So only a fool will try to minimize the past to forge a new path type of work. God is not interested in people doing their own type of work. He is interested in people continuing the race that is, get this now, that is set before them. So get this now. What race? Okay, Hebrews 12 tells us there's a great cloud of witnesses. The race that they set, that's the race I'm to run on. So there's no way I could be first in what I'm doing. Somebody else is already running the race. I used to run track. And when I ran track, I was the anchor. Normally I was the anchor guy. I was either the point man, the starter, or I was the anchor person. You know what? And each time when I was the anchor guy, I was just continuing the race of those who'd already run before me. I'm trying to finish it right. I'm not setting a new race. I didn't say, well, I'm going to get off this track and go to some other track. Bless God, good night. Somewhere we've got to get on the right path. Oh, my friend, how I wish people could get this. It's not our job to try to run a new race or try to be the first kind in my race. I'm to run the race that is set before me. I'm to continue in the doctrine that has been given to me. I'm to pass on from one generation to the next. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to redefine a past generation. I'm trying to carry on what the past generation gave to me. You cannot go forward in the race by leaving the race to create a new kind of race or a new kind of church or a new kind of Christian. Watch out for these guys. Oh, my friend, when they say, this is new, I've got news for you. There's nothing new. Nothing new. Third, to do less than those before me is to displease God. So we are not to draw back in our soul winning. We're to do more soul winning. We're not to draw back in building our churches. We're to build our church. We're to build more churches. We're not to draw back in starting churches. We're to start more churches. We're not to do fewer bus routes. We're to do more bus routes. If we get busy doing studying the past to find out what to build upon, then we would find that God would be pleased with his mighty power. Heard a preacher once say several years ago, we don't need any more churches in America. And that was the dumbest statement of the one. This guy's not in the ministry anymore. That's the dumbest statement. Guys that believe that, boy, this is why we're losing America, that type of mindset. Everybody says, well, we got missions. I'm for missions, but have we forgot? Jerusalem is part of missions. Have we forgotten that? We have so forsaken our Jerusalem that we're losing the world. And somewhere, if we have a true missions mindset, we have got to start new churches, and we've got to build our churches, and we've got to reach the lost for Christ, and we've got to fill our Jerusalem with the doctrine of Jesus Christ. We have to do that. Don't listen to me. Stop trying to do these guys who are trying to do something new. They're not building churches. They're transferring people. They're pulling from other churches. I was preaching at a conference this week, and I said, this is one thing I've learned. When people transfer in, they normally transfer out. The best way to get people in your church is go lead people to Jesus Christ. Get busy. Get off your lazy seat of do nothing and do something for Jesus Christ. Good night. I'm just so tired. Bunch of lazy preachers need to get a fire lit underneath themselves. So busy trying to be nice to everybody else and doing everything they need to do. Get out and work. Listen, preacher, and I'm gonna upset the apple cart a little bit. If preacher, if you're not doing 10 hours of soul winning a week, you need to get right with God. Get right with God. You say, "Oh, that's pretty tough." No, it's not tough. Your job is to reach your city. Now, I understand. I'm not now. Some of these bivocational preachers, my hats off to them. It's harder for them to get 10 hours. But I'm talking full time preachers who have an office. Get out of your office. Stop getting fat and sitting on your can, and get out and go soul winning. Good night. We wonder why we're losing our country because a lot of these preachers they're riding on the past. And you mean to tell me in 7 days you can't do 10 hours of soul winning? My friend, we're losing our nation. And we don't need a first of a kind. We need to continue in the doctrine. We need to run the race that is set before us. We need to hand on to the next generation what the previous generation has handed to us. So listen, don't draw back. Are you doing less or more than what you used to do for God? Are you doing less or more than what those in the past have done? Anything less than more is to displease the Lord. So never become comfortable with what you have done. Challenge yourself, compete with yourself, do more for God. So that your life can please God. And my friend, I believe if we do this, I truly believe we can reach a generation for Jesus Christ. Boy, I hope this is a challenge to you. You said, "Preacher, you're a little tough today." Yeah, because I look at my nation, we're dying. We're dying. We have got to get some people to do something for Jesus Christ. I challenge you today. Get in the battle. Get on the path. Start running your race. Let's see what we can't do to reach the lost for Jesus Christ. Well, hope this is a help to you today. Now let's remember this week.